Hello students, welcome to our channel Study Hub. I'm very glad to see you again students. So students, today in this video we are going to see AP 2025 to 2026 class 10 English textbooks. I told you before that I am going to start the lesson. So today we are going to discuss the first lesson in English textbook, a letter to God. So students, this lesson, a letter to God, is very interesting and it will be very enthusiastic. So if you not yet subscribed our channel, please subscribe our channel for more interesting videos like this. So watch the video till the end. So today we are going to see the lesson, a letter to God. So in this lesson, before you read, they say faith can move mountains, but what should we put on faith in? Means this is the question in this story. Delicate poses. Lenko is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined, asking for 100 pesos. Does Lenko's letter reaches God? Does God send him the money? Before what you answered these questions, be and guess how the story continues. Before you begin to read it, so students, what they are saying means the faith in us can move the mountains. Yes, it is a great slogan, and before onwards we can moving. We are thinking about that. It is true, but here what they are saying means Lenko's farm was ruined by the storms, and so he is asking God for 100 pesos. So does God answers him and gives him 100 pesos? So let's discuss this in this lesson. So students, I think you know this form. This is the money order. In previous means 30 years or 40 years back, we are using to transfer money. At that time, there are no mobiles, so we must transfer money like this through money order. We must for whom we are like a post. We can send money through this money order. So now let's enter into the lesson. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From the height one could see the river and the field ripe corn dotted with the flower that always promised a good harvest. So there was a single house on the entire valley. So the farmer, who is farmer, Lenko is the farmer. He is sitting on the crest means the top of the hill. So you can see crest means the top of a hill. He is sitting there in the height and seeing the rivers and the field of crop dotted with flowers, and promised that it gives him a good harvest. The only thing that earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower. Means the crop was ready for the for the cuttings, and just it needed a small shower. Then throughout the morning, Lenko, who knew his field intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the north. So Lenko didn't do anything from the morning because he needs the rain. He is seeing to the northeast direction because the clouds are coming or not. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. The woman who is preparing supper replied, "Yes, God willing." So Lenko is saying that to his wife. Oh woman, means here wife. He is saying to his wife, "Does we get really the water?" Means that the woman is known as the Lenko's wife is who is preparing the supper replied that it is God willings. The older boys were working in the field while the smaller ones are playing near the house until the woman called to them all, "Come all for the dinner." So the older boys meant a big person, the big sons of the Lenko are working in the field, and smaller ones are playing near the house until when the woman called them for all for the dinner. It was the dining. It was during the meal that, just as Lenko had predicted, a big drop of rain began to fall. Means at the time of dinner, as Lenko told us, it should rain. Then his wife told it is God willing. So then a big drop of rain began to fall on him. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. What means a northeast direction, a huge mountain of clouds means the clouds. The Lenko is describing the clouds as a huge mountain. In northeast direction, the huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. So the air was very fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have a pleasure of feeling of rain in his body, and when he returned he explained, "These aren't raindrops falling from the sky, they are the new coins." So while eating the dinner, Lenko got up from his dinner plate and he went out with no reason, only to experience the pleasure of the rain and he is saying that he's comparing the big raindrops as a new gold coins. The big drop or 10 cents and the little one or 5. Means he's comparing that big drop of rain gives me a 10 cents piece and a little one gives me a 5 cents. With a satisfied expression, he regardless the fate of the ripe corn with its flower, wrapped in a curtain of the rain. But sudden a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. So when Lenko was totally satisfied that he got rain, he is going to get some money. At that time, a big hailstorm had fallen on his field, and this truly did resemble new silver coin. Then he is thinking, then he don't know that it was a storm. Then he thinks that it was silver coin. Then the boys are exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. Means that hailstorm which has fallen in his field, the boys had went there to collect their frozen pearls. It is getting really bad, exclaimed the man. So the hailstorms are increasing and the weather is getting bad now, exclaimed the man. I hope it passes quickly. If it didn't pass quickly for an hour, the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. These fields was white as if it covered with a salt. So Lenko thought that it should be going within a hour, but it didn't pass away for 1 hour. It is continually falling on the hillsides, the cornfield, and throughout the valley it got hailstorm rain. So it was covered like a salt. Means the hailstorm will be a white ice cubes. So he is comparing white ice cubes as a salt. Means it is totally get wrapped on the houses. Not a leaf remained on the tree. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lenko's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm has passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his son, a plague of locusts. Here, locust means, here we can see the word locust. Locust means insects which fly in big swarms. In Telugu we can say mertalu. So we all know that in Telugu we'll say mertalu means in English local. So these are a plague of locusts. Means he is saying that he went into the middle of the field and his heart was very sorrowful and he was very sad that his crop was destroyed. He called his son and saying that a plague of locusts came. So you can see the image here. Lenko, there are no leaves on the trees. He is only standing in the middle of the field. Have left more than this. The hailstorm left nothing. This year we will have no corn. Menzelenko is saying that the locust, the hailstorm, is comparing hailstorm like a locust and saying that the locust has came here and he left nothing for us. This year we will have no corn. Means this year they don't have any corn to sell. That smite was a sorrowful one. All our works for nothing. There's no one who can help us. We all are going to be hungry this year. Then he is saying that there is no one to help us and we are going to die this year with hunger. But in the hearts of all who lived in solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. Then Lenko got the idea that he had a single hope that he wanted help from the God. So next we are going to see what happened. So next story from here is very going to be very interested. Let's see. Be so upset even through this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. That's what they say. No one dies of hunger. So then when Lenko becomes so upset, he thinks that no one dies of hunger and we didn't lose everything. We have our family, we have our house. Let's write a letter to God. And that's all they say, no one dies with hunger. Although that night Lenko thought only of his only one hope, the help from God. God, his whose eyes as God as he had instructed, seen everything, even what is deep in one's consequences. Lenko was an ox of man, working like an animal in the field, but still he know how to ride. Means they're saying that Lenko is working like an farmer, like an ox in his field, but he still knows how to ride. The following Sunday at the daybreak, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to the town and place in the mail. And he, after writing a letter to God for he wants some of the amount, and after writing the letter he placed in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. So there was nothing in the letter he requested God for some money. So God, he wrote What now we'll see what had written in this letter. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crops come because the hailstorm. And he wrote the letter to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled went to the town at the post office. He placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. So he wrote the letter that he told his all the sorrowfulness that the crop has been destroyed due to the hailstorm, and he placed a stamp and he placed it in the mailbox. One of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. Never in the career as a postman he had known that address. So one of the employee of a post office, he's a postman, he taken that letter and showed to his boss, and he is laughing a lot like a crazy person. And he says that I never knows this address. Where is the address, you oh boss? And then the postmaster, a fat, amiable fellow, also broke out laughing, but almost immediately he turned serious and tapping the letter on his desk, commented, what faith I wish I had the faith of man who had written this letter, starting up with corresponding with God. Means by seeing this, the postmaster got very angry and he became serious and he punched his hand on the desk and he is saying that no, 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 he is not a different kind of person. He had lots of faith on God. So, in order not to shake his writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea. So, Lenko is very faithful in God. So, do not remove that faith, shake the faith from the God. Then the postmaster got an idea. Let's see. Answered the letter, but when he opened it, it was the evident that to answer it has needed something more than goodwill, ink, and paper. But he stuck to his resolution. He asked for money from his envelope. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of his were obligated to give something for an act of charity. So he think that to reply the letter, but after opening and seeing the ink and notes, then he saw that he is asking for some money to grow the crop again. Then the postmaster gave his half of this salary, and lot of friends in the post office had obliged something as an act of charity. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos, so he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lenko and with a letter containing only a single word as signature, God. So what are they saying means he collected some amount of charity and he kept in the post and again he wrapped the cover and he kept the signature as God. See next what happened. The following Sunday, Lenko came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was any letter for him. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster experienced the contentment of a man who was performed a good deed. Look on from his office. So the postman who had did a good deed for the for the Lenko is thinking that how he feels achievable, and now let's see how he feels. Lenko showed not slightest surprise on seeing the money, such as his confidence, but he became angry when he counted the money. God could not may have made a mistake or could have denied Lenko what he had requested. So Lenko showed slight happiness in his face by seeing the money, but he was confident with God because God could not count the amount very wrongly, or he must deny my letter. Then immediately Lenko went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. On the public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow caused by the efforts he made to express his ideas. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp, which he licked and affixed to the envelope with a bow of his fist. Again, he written a letter to God. We can see in the image, and he is giving to the he is posting it in the post office, but for asking him the remaining 30 pesos of amount. So let's see. The moment the letter fell in the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. It said, "God, of the money that I asked for, only several 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest since I need it very much. But don't send me through this mail because the post office employees are as bunch of crooks, Lenko. So Lenko is saying that again he asked for 30 pesos as I told you, and but this time he has said that don't send me through the post, send me in different way because the employees are bunch of crooks. Bunch of crooks means bunch of thieves. They are crooks means thieves. He is comparing so employees as a thief, but he don't know that the amount was given not given by the God. It was given by the charity amount of the post office. So students, this is the lesson of the letter to God. So students, if you really like this video, please like, share and subscribe our channel for more interesting videos, students. And if you subscribe our channel, I will be well motivated and to make another video. So I will look up you in the second video in the second lesson. So in second lesson 2 we will be seeing the video. It may be posted within 2 to 3 days between. I'll post it. If you really like this video, please like, share to your friends and subscribe our channel for more interesting videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you all.